You wake up, and before your feet even hit the floor, you already feel it. That heavy, thick exhaustion sitting right in the center of your chest. Not the kind of tired that goes away after a good night's sleep. This is different. This is the kind of tired that follows you into the morning, through your afternoon, and still clings to you at night when you're lying in bed wondering why your body feels like it's working against you. And you've tried things. You've gone to bed earlier, you've had your coffee, maybe you've even pushed yourself to exercise thinking it would help. But nothing seems to move the needle. The fatigue just stays there, like a fog that won't lift. Here's what almost nobody is telling you about that fog. It's not about how much you sleep. It's not about your willpower. It's not even about how healthy your diet is in the traditional sense. The real reason your energy is completely drained every single day comes down to something most people completely overlook. It comes down to when you eat your protein, not just how much. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly why protein timing is silently controlling your energy levels every single day, and how changing just this one thing has helped thousands of people feel dramatically more alive without changing much else at all. Now, before I go deeper, I want to be upfront with you about something. We do have a program linked in the video description below that goes much further into this exact topic with guided steps for people who are serious about reversing chronic fatigue from the inside out. But honestly, most people watching this will probably scroll past it. And that's fine. This video alone will give you real, usable information. But if you're someone who has tried things before and kept hitting a wall, that program was built specifically for people who are done guessing. The link is down there when you're ready. Now let's get into this. Your body runs on energy. That sounds obvious, but what most people don't realize is that your body produces energy through a very specific process that is deeply tied to amino acids, which are the building blocks that come from protein. When your body doesn't have enough of those amino acids available at the right times, it starts pulling from your muscle tissue. And when that happens, your metabolism slows down, your mood crashes, your brain becomes foggy, and your physical stamina drops through the floor. This is why you can eat what seems like a perfectly reasonable amount of food and still feel completely depleted. The food isn't the issue. The timing of the protein in that food is. Think about the last time you went through an entire morning on just a coffee and maybe a piece of toast. By 11 o'clock, your brain was probably scattered. By 1 in the afternoon, you were barely functioning. That crash isn't about caffeine wearing off. That crash is your body desperately searching for amino acids to keep your brain and muscles running, and not finding enough of them. Research from some of the most respected institutions studying metabolic health has consistently shown that people who distribute their protein intake evenly throughout the day, rather than eating most of it in one large meal, report significantly better energy levels, improved cognitive function, and reduced feelings of physical fatigue. We're talking about differences people describe as night and day. Not subtle improvements, dramatic, noticeable changes in how they feel throughout the entire day. And the beautiful part of this is that it doesn't require an overhaul of your entire lifestyle. You don't need to count every calorie or follow some complicated meal plan. This is about making one strategic shift in how you think about the protein you're already eating. Here's how it actually works in your body. Every few hours, your body goes through what's called a muscle protein synthesis window. During this window, your muscles and your brain are primed to absorb amino acids and use them to build, repair, and fuel your cells. If you miss this window, if there's no protein available in your system during that time, your body doesn't just pause and wait patiently. It starts breaking down your own tissue to get what it needs. This process is called catabolism, and it is one of the biggest hidden reasons behind chronic fatigue in people who eat what they think is a healthy diet. They're eating enough food overall, but the protein is either all arriving at once or arriving too late in the day to keep the energy system running smoothly. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Studies tracking people who shifted their protein intake earlier in the day and spread it out more evenly showed measurable improvements in energy levels in as little as 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days, not months, not years. Less than 2 weeks of changing when they ate protein produced changes they could feel physically and mentally. People who were dragging themselves through mornings suddenly found themselves finishing their workday with energy still left over. People who needed multiple cups of coffee just to stay functional found themselves naturally alert without relying on stimulants. People who had written off their fatigue as just part of getting older or just part of being a busy person discovered that it wasn't inevitable at all. It was nutritional, and it was fixable. Here's something that often goes unspoken but needs to be said clearly. If you've been exhausted for a long time, you probably don't even remember what it feels like to have real energy. You've normalized the fatigue. You've built your entire schedule around managing it. You avoid social commitments because you're not sure you'll have the energy. You push through work at half the capacity you know you're capable of. You watch other people seem to function easily, and you quietly wonder what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do with the information it's being given. It just hasn't been given the right information at the right times. Let me paint a picture for you of what the other side of this looks like. Imagine waking up tomorrow and the heaviness isn't there. Imagine your feet hitting the floor and your mind being clear. Not the forced clarity of caffeine. Real, natural, biological clarity. Imagine making it through the morning without watching the clock, without counting down to your next break, without that slow creeping exhaustion that usually starts building by mid-morning. Imagine having a conversation with someone you love in the evening and actually being present in it. Not half present with one eye on the couch because your body is already shutting down. Actually there, actually engaged, laughing without it feeling like effort. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when your body finally has what it needs, when it needs it. Now let's talk about the practical side of this, because this is where the real shift happens. The first key principle is something called front loading. This means getting a meaningful amount of protein into your body within the first 2 hours of waking up. Not a protein bar with 10 grams tucked in, a real substantial source of protein. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, lean meat, whatever works for your preferences and lifestyle. Aim for at least 25 to 30 grams in that first meal. This immediately starts refilling your amino acid pool and prevents your body from going into that catabolic morning state that drains your energy before the day even begins. The second key principle is the midday anchor. This is where most people make their biggest mistake. Lunch tends to be an afterthought, something quick, something convenient, often very low in protein. But your body is hitting another synthesis window right in the middle of the day, and if you feed it mostly carbohydrates and fat without enough protein, you set yourself up for that notorious afternoon energy crash that makes the second half of the day feel nearly impossible. An additional 25 to 30 grams of protein at midday keeps your amino acid levels stable, supports your brain chemistry, and maintains your physical energy without any artificial stimulants needed. The third principle is the evening anchor, and this one surprises people. Many people load their protein at dinner because that's when they have time to cook a real meal. And while that dinner protein does serve a purpose, it's too late in the day to rescue the energy you've already lost. The evening protein, however, plays a different role. It supports overnight repair. Your body does significant cellular restoration while you sleep. And having protein available during that process means you wake up with a better foundation. Not exhausted before the day starts. When you apply all three of these principles together, you're not just managing fatigue, you're rebuilding the biological engine that produces energy. And the people who commit to this consistently don't just feel a little better, they feel like fundamentally different people inside their own lives. This is why nutrition researchers and functional medicine practitioners who work with chronic fatigue patients consistently prioritize protein timing as one of their first interventions. It's not because it's a trendy hack, it's because the evidence behind it is solid and the results are real and fast enough that people actually stick with it. There's also a deeply emotional side to this that doesn't get talked about enough. Fatigue isn't just physical. Chronic exhaustion changes who you are. It makes you irritable with people you love. It makes you less patient, less creative, less hopeful. It makes you feel like you're falling behind in your own life. And over time, that takes a psychological toll that goes far beyond just feeling sleepy. When the energy starts coming back, people don't just describe feeling physically better. They describe feeling like themselves again. They describe reconnecting with parts of their personality that fatigue had buried. Their ambition comes back. Their humor comes back. Their desire to engage with the world comes back. That's what you're really after here. Not just less tiredness, a fuller, richer experience of being alive in your own body. And here's the honest truth. The people who experience the fastest and most lasting results from protein timing are the ones who have clear guidance and accountability in place from the very beginning. Because knowing the principles is one thing. Having a structured system that tells you exactly how to apply them to your specific life is something else entirely. That's exactly what the program in the video description below is designed to give you. It takes everything you've heard today and builds a complete personalized framework around it so you're not figuring it out on your own through trial and error. The people who use it are already on the other side of this. They've already stopped dragging. They've already found their energy again. If you're still watching right now, it's because something in your gut knows this is real and knows that you've been exhausted long enough. The information is here. The next step is yours. The link is waiting for you below, and there's no better moment than this one to use it.